welcome to my channel. My name is Chelsea Wood. Today I'm going to be showing you how to get this purple glam look, so if you want to find out, just keep watching.
Eyelids, I'm going to use the Too Faced Shadow Insurance, just a little bit. Now if you have really oily eyelids, this will still work. A lot of people will use concealers for their eyeshadow base. That's fine too. You just want to keep in mind that a concealer can cause creasing. It can also cause the eyeshadows to go patchy sometimes. So just make sure you're aware of what concealer you're using. There's a lot of other really good eyeshadow bases if you want something that has a little more coverage underneath it. I'm just using the Jeffree Star powder because I actually really like it. We're just going to put that on top of there. I like to do this just so it creates a little bit of a smoother base for my eyeshadow. Some people like a tackier base for your eyeshadows. My eyelids crease pretty easily, so if I do that, for me it just makes the eyeshadows really creasy, and it's not my preference. But if you like to do that, go ahead. I usually start with my eyes just because I like to clean up underneath before I go in with my concealer and my foundation. Some people don't have a problem with that. I am a messy eyeshadow applier, so I like to keep this free so I can wipe it off. Not everybody does, but I do. Go in with this fluffier brush. So I like this one because it's domed, but it's also a lot fluffier. So it just helps to get that crease color in there, that transition color. For eyeshadows, I'm going to be using mainly the Violet by Juvia's Place. I just recently got this palette and it's really cute. It's just like these little purpley shades. I love purple eyeshadow, so I was like, I have to get it. Alright, so we're gonna go in with this color here first. It's just a really light purple shade, and I'm just gonna start by putting that all in my crease. So just really lightly. Sometimes I like to kind of like look down so you can find where your crease is. Just kind of going all in that crease area with this. And I'm just kind of building up that transition. Okay. Next color I'm going to put also in my crease. I'm going to go in with this little mini Natasha Denona palette. This is just a cute little palette. I'm going to go in with this color right here. That is called Poison Berry. So I'm going to take that on like a shorter, denser white hair brush. And I'm going to just tap into it really lightly. Again, you don't need to really tap it off. I always do this, especially when I'm trying to go in with darker colors. That way you don't get too much all at once. That's like the biggest thing that I can tell you when you're trying to blend out eyeshadow. Don't pack so much on your brush if you honestly don't know what you're doing. Start with a little bit at a time and blend it to where you want it. So with this color, I'm just going to kind of tilt my head back, okay, and then I'm just going to put it right on the outer corner here, okay? So I'm not necessarily creating that V shape or anything yet. I'm just putting it mainly on the outer edge. And then you can slowly work it up into your crease, okay? Now, it is really important to think about how you're placing your brush on your eye. If you're down here, if you go like this, it's going to blend most of the color upwards, right? So if I wanted to go further up, I'm gonna point my brush up, technically, right? If I want to go on my crease and I don't want it, like for example, if I don't want it like all around in here, I'm gonna point my brush down so that it focuses more going down than going up into there. And I think that's where a lot of people get the raccoon eyes and they get really nervous with going in with darker colors. Just make sure you angle your brush right wherever you're placing the eyeshadow. So we're just gonna go in there, mainly focusing this on the outer edge, okay? I like to kind of like place the product where I want it and then kind of blend it out. So placing it there and then doing little circles and blending it out. And take your time, okay? This is like no rush. It's not for me. I have nothing else to do with it. We're just gonna do that. And then I usually don't go in here until I don't have as much on my brush. That way I'm not getting so much on that inner corner, okay? Okay, now I'm gonna take that fluffy brush that we used first in the beginning, and I'm just gonna go over the line. So, and very, 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 very lightly. Again, you don't wanna push your brush into your eyelid really hard, especially with this step, because it's not trying to blend away all the color. I'm just trying to blend the edges together. So I'm just gonna go in really lightly and just kind of buff those together. I'm just gonna add a little bit more. I'm gonna take this really dark purple shade right here. A little bit of it, guys. Don't load your brush up too much with this, because again, we're trying to build it slowly rather than just throwing it on there and attempting to blend it out. So we're just gonna take a little bit on the very corner, so it's not even all the way around my brush. I mainly put it on like a flatter side of the brush almost. So we're gonna take that, I'm gonna point our brush up, and we're just going to almost kind of dab it and then drag it into the crease a little bit. And this is just gonna deepen it. Now this brush is a little bit denser than the last brush, so it's going to pack on the color a little bit differently. So just, again, go slowly and slowly add that color in and build it up to your desired depth. All right, I'm gonna take the white hair brush that we used. I'm just gonna, just like we did with the super fluffy brush, we're just gonna kind of blend those edges together. Okay. So you kind of see how this darker purple is creating a little bit more of almost like that V halo. That's what you want. You want that little V out here and then kind of a halo in here. My face is all broken out right now. See that? I helped my grandma at a garage sale for the weekend, and I wore a mask all weekend, and it just really messed with my skin. So all you essential workers that wear it all day, every day, props. I couldn't do it. But it's important. Wear your mask. So the shade right here. Okay. Use the brush first so that way I can get placement. Okay, so I'm gonna look down. I'm gonna take a little mirror. I have this little mirror here. Okay, and I'm gonna look down, see where we are here. So I'm gonna look down. I'm gonna start here. Okay, I'm gonna push it in there. Okay, and then I'm gonna kind of go up and around. So if you want to make this more intense, you can absolutely use your concealer and cut your crease. I'm not doing that today because I find I get very similar results like this. So, oh my god, I had spinach in my teeth the whole time. I put spinach in my smoothies, okay? I had a smoothie this morning. Okay, so now that's taken care of, we're just gonna continue doing that. So I do apply a little bit more pressure while doing this, just so I can kind of get that payoff. But I mean, again, you don't want to stab your eye with your brush, okay? You don't necessarily have to do that. Just, if you can kind of see, I'm just placing it here and following the natural curvature of my eye. And then I'm just placing it like this. I'm going to use the same brush and I'm going to flip it. So you can see I only use one side for that one color. You can tell. One side for that one color. I'm going to flip it over. if I can like figure this out, I'm gonna flip it over and I'm gonna use this color. So right on the edge there, this kind of darker purple color. And I'm going to put that in between the shimmery shade and the dark purple matte shade. Just very lightly, just a little bit, just to kind of blend the two together. So just right here. You can see where they kind of meet, the two colors. I'm just gonna put that right in the center there. And then I'm just gonna flip the brush around, go back and forth to blend it together. So I'm gonna take that first shimmery shade right here. I'm gonna take it on my finger. Because of the type of shade, it is a little bit more foiled, so this is gonna help to kind of just intensify it. Another trick you can do is wet your brush when you put it on. That's a really good trick to do this too, to make it a little bit more foiled, a little more intense. I'm not doing that. I'm just gonna use my finger. Oh yeah, that's nice. Go back into the Juvia's Place palette, and I'm gonna take that really dark purple, so this shade right here, okay. We're gonna dip a flat paddle brush. So this one is a little bit, it's very thin, right? So it's flat. So what we're gonna do with this is we're gonna push it into our lash line. And this is just gonna create a little bit more dimension before we put our eyeliner there, because I'm gonna kind of smoke out the eyeliner later. So I'm gonna put this right into the lash line. I'm not gonna go all the way in really. I'm gonna probably stop right about here. Okay, so right about the middle of the eye, and then just kind of push it into your lash line there. Into the Morphe James Charles palette. Oh yeah, that's clean. It actually does not look that dirty. It's dust. Okay, this thing is so giant, guys. This thing's so huge. You can see where I've like, anyway. Okay, so I'm gonna go into the black shade. Clean your stuff. God, what influencer are you? Using dirty makeup. Okay, so I'm gonna do the same thing. I'm gonna set this over to the side because it's just huge. Same thing here. This is a black though, so it's gonna define it a little bit more. Should not shake. Table as I'm doing this. Again, avoiding the first half of your eye. You want that open and bright. So again, just kind of smudging that in there. I'm the most clumsy. So now we're gonna go in with KVD Vegan Beauty Tattoo Liner. More of a brush tip applicator than a felt tip, so it doesn't skip when you're trying to create that perfect line. It's a little bit easier. We're gonna look down into our mirror. You see where your eye ends here? So the idea is your flick, the end of your cat eye, your eyeliner, is going towards the end of your brow, okay? So we're gonna just make one line first, going up towards the brow. And then from there, halfway, and I drag it across. And then kind of meet them together a little bit better. But that kind of gives you more of a cleaner point instead of like a really thick chunky point. And I just kind of fill it in. And I'm gonna go in towards the front of the eye. And with this, I just kind of stamp it along the front so that way I don't have to pull my eye like this and get a straighter line. Sometimes I do end up having to do that anyway. It's just what it is. You're not supposed to pull on your eyes, but it is what it is, okay? So we're just gonna do this. So I just kind of, can you see? I don't know. So I'm just gonna stamp and kind of drag. Do we like it? It's pretty okay. It's alright. It'll do. It'll do, kid. Alright. So we're gonna kind of smoke it out a little bit. So we're just gonna take that same brush with the black on it, okay, and we're gonna go over the line right here, okay? And you know what? This, you just like have one of those days where you cannot make it even. Do this and kind of smoke it out a little bit, and that way it won't be so obvious. Take that white brush, it has a little bit of product on it but not much. Just kind of go around the edge here. And I'm going to use the Garnier Micellar water. Garnier Micellar water. It's like a makeup remover. I'm going to fold this in half, okay? You don't want to get this like too soaked because then it'll just create a mess for you. So fold this in half, just like that. Okay, and then we're gonna go in, I'll look in the mirror while I do this. We're gonna go in and do this. Do you see that? Did you see that magic, Evan? I'm just saying, like. And if you've done your face makeup first, this obviously, probably not gonna wanna do this. But you might have to, just clean up a little bit. You can always reapply your concealer and foundation, but this is why I do my eyes first. If I'm doing like a more dramatic or colorful look. All my brushes are dirty. Okay, for foundation, I'm going to use the L'Oreal Paris Infallible Pro Glow. See, dirty. This is in 203. This is, I really can only use this foundation in the summertime because they do not have my shade in like winter months. So I can only use this when I'm tan. So I am actually going to start where my blemishes are the worst. So I'm gonna kind of dab it there first. And then I'm gonna kind of blend out from there. So I kind of go back and forth between doing this and just kind of like pressing it into the skin and buffing it like this. For concealer, I'm using the Tarte Shape Tape because I like this concealer, okay? What I'm gonna do with this concealer is I'm just gonna put one stripe there and then kind of dot it out right here. This concealer blends out really well too, so you don't necessarily need to add a whole lot. And then I'm just gonna kind of put a little bit right there. Just a little bit. I don't really need to highlight my forehead because I already have a big forehead. When I worked at Sephora, this, like, oh my god. I had to use this on, there was like a few brushes that like you just had to put in your kit to use on people, and like this is one of them because it just airbrushes this out, your concealer out so well. I'm kind of drag it down here, buff it and blend it with my little concealer brush. Okay, so with this, I'm gonna make sure before I put any powder there, I'm gonna make sure I do my concealer base. I'm gonna make sure that that is completely blended out. The Tarte concealer is pretty good about not creasing, but sometimes I still get creases. So before I powder, I blend out the creases. And then I'm just gonna take this powder. I'm going to push it into the skin, wherever I put that concealer. I like to keep the rest of my face fairly glowy, so for today I'm not necessarily putting it all over my face, which you totally could if you wanted to, but I'm just pushing it into where I put that concealer. If you want to swipe like that, it's your prerogative. Personally, I like to push the powder in so it sets it where it's at, where it is, and that way you're not dragging away all of your concealer. Okay, so I'm gonna go in with the KVD Vegan Beauty Contour Shade and Light. It's like one of her little mini palettes. And I'm gonna take an angled brush like this. This is just like an Urban Decay face one, but you can take any angled cheek brush. It's a little bit slimmer. And what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna put it right here, okay? So placement of your contour is obviously really important, right? So everybody's face shape is different. For me personally, my cheekbone is right here. And my biggest thing that I can tell people when they're contouring their face is to not do this big long line down the side of your face. It just makes it harder to blend out. So I kind of focus it in more of like a triangle shape right on the outer edge of my face. I also have an oval face shape too though. So because I have an oval face shape, I don't necessarily need to make my face chiseled in this way as much. At least I personally don't feel that way. So we're just kind of focusing it right here, kind of like a triangle shape right here. And if you notice, I'm not going like this, okay? I'm kind of pushing that product into the outer edges of my face. This Becca palette, I don't know if this is like a holiday palette or something. Pop Goes the Glow. I don't know, it has Champagne Pop, you know, classic highlighter. It also has, oh, hello, it also has this bronzer down here too, right here. So this is like a shimmery bronzer. Hairline back, because I just do this, I don't know why. And I'm just gonna be a little bit messier with this. I'm gonna go up to my forehead. Right? And we're gonna just kind of go circles. And the other side. I like to pull my hairline back just so I can kind of get, my hair doesn't get in the way. Like, I don't know. I can't have my hair in the way. I'm just like so weird about it. I don't know. It's like some people can't eat with their hair in their face. I can't do my face makeup with my hair in my face. Now we're gonna clean this up a little bit underneath, so don't be too worried about the precision on the shimmery. Let's even. Okay, now I'm gonna take that same Jeffree Star powder. This powder, he has a couple different powders. So this one in particular is the, let's see, does it even say it on here? I don't think it does. This is not the translucent one, how about that? This one isn't fair because I'm fair, I'm pale. But so it has just like a tiny bit of color to it. You can use the translucent powder too. Anyway, so I'm gonna take that same brush that I used underneath my eyes, the Sephora brush, and I'm gonna clean up my bronzer area. So I'm gonna go like this. I'm gonna create a line right there, okay? Again, I'm not baking, so I'm gonna blend that out. If you want to create a really sharp line right there, like really snatch your contour, you could bake it and that will make it more snatched. I'm not really doing that. Use this Tarty. That's literally what it's called. Party. And I'm gonna smile while I do this. Just because I like to put my blush on the apples of my cheeks. So we're gonna smile, we're gonna act like we're happy. We're gonna smile, we're gonna dab. I'm gonna do my under eye. I always do my under eye after I do all my concealer and all of that. So I'm gonna go in with this brush here, again with whatever's on there, and we're gonna just blend underneath. We're gonna place that underneath our eye here. I'm gonna take whatever's left on here, which is the black, and we're gonna focus this mainly on the outer corner because again, we want to keep the front of the eye really nice and bright. So go in with this KVD Vegan Beauty Everlasting Lip Liner in Swing. This is as an eyeliner. And I'm going to put this in my waterline. And this is just going to make my eye look bigger. It's going to make my eyes look bigger and it's going to make my eyes look more awake. So first what I'm going to go in with is this Jaclyn this is the all over powder. So you can use it as like a cheekbone highlighter, but it's really for like an all over type of glow. It's like really subtle. I'm still gonna use it for my cheekbones. But I'm gonna tap it into the lid and then I'm gonna take this brush. This is the brush that she made for it. It's actually surprisingly dense. A lot of people thought that her brushes were like Morphe brushes, but let me just show you. Like this is the Morphe highlighter brush. And then this is her brush. Yes, okay, they kind of look similar, but this one is so much denser. So much denser. So, just saying. Okay, so I'm gonna take this brush, I'm gonna swirl it all around up in there to really get the highlighter all in the bristles. I'm just gonna kind of go like this. I'm gonna go up and around. I'm gonna go in with two. I'm gonna go in with Extra and I'm gonna go in with Amped. These are her little mini. Amped is a little bit more of like a rosy gold color, and Extra is just like a really, really bright, kind of yellowy, champagne-y color. The brush, I'm gonna dip it in the lighter color, the Extra, and I'm gonna go like this again. So I'm just like swirling all around in the lid. And I'm gonna do the same thing with the Amped. So I'm kind of mixing them. And I'm just gonna go in right on the tops of the cheekbones. The fan brush, I'm gonna blend that out. Now I'm gonna go in with my brow products and kind of like shape my brows anyway, but I'm gonna go underneath the brow. That's okay. Oh, and I'm gonna do my eyebrows. So L'Oreal Brow Stylist Definer. Go in, I'm gonna brush them up first. This also helps, like, if you're doing your foundation and your concealer first, sometimes you get it in your eyebrow hair. That's just what happens. So brushing this will kind of help to get that out. Kind of fluffed all of that color around. So I'm gonna kind of just clean that up a little bit. So I'm gonna go right underneath here. Okay, and we're just gonna clean it up. And I'm really not putting a lot of concealer on this brush, you guys. Like, alright, typically I would curl my lashes. I have fairly long semi-curly lashes already, so you should be fine today, but I'm gonna go in with mascara. You can put false eyelashes on if you want. My eyelashes get pretty long and fluffy, so I don't typically put eyelashes on, but if you want to put eyelashes on, go for it. The more lashes, the better. Why not? Looking down in the mirror, and I'm kind of wiggling and twisting the brush at the same time. It's fine. I'll fix it. And it's gone. Done. Alright, so for my lips, I'm gonna go in with the Stila liquid lipstick. This is in shade Baki. Again. Hello? Yeah, you see that? Good, you see that. Okay. Alright. That's it. That's all she wrote, guys. This is how I did it. Thanks for watching. I feel like it's so awkward. Alright, yeah, I'm gonna go and do nothing for the rest of ever. Thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed. If you have any questions, let me know. I will link everything down below, just like every little YouTuber. But yeah, if you guys have any questions, just let me know. I'll answer them for you because I have nothing better to do. Yeah. Thank you. Bye. What? Who are you barking at? Is it gonna say hello? Oh, you're such a good boy. Yes. Mwah.